So let's dive right into this really strange thing that's happening in modern life. We've built a world that's all about comfort, right? But for some reason, it feels like a lot of us are losing our minds. What is going on?
Yeah, that's really the big question we're tackling. I mean, you think about a place like Australia. Beautiful, right? Clean air, sunshine, it's incredibly safe. And yet anxiety rates are through the roof. It doesn't add up on the surface. But trust me, we're going to unpack exactly why it makes perfect and kind of scary sense.
All right, let's call this what it is. The comfort paradox. I mean, think about it. We are living in, without a doubt, the most comfortable, the safest, the most convenient time in the history of humanity. And yet, there's this background noise, right? This internal static that so many of us just can't seem to shut off. And if you look at the data, it's just bizarre. Our comfort levels, they've shot through the roof. But you'd expect anxiety to go down, right? Nope, it's gone right up with it. It's like behind that classic no worries attitude, there's a very real and growing worry. So what on earth is going on?
Okay, so to really understand this, we've got to step outside of our modern bubble for a minute. Let's look to nature, because there's this incredible lesson hiding in plain sight in the Great Barrier Reef.
So you probably imagine a coral reef just loves calm, still, warm water, right? Like a peaceful little paradise. But here's the thing, that's totally wrong. A reef doesn't thrive in that kind of stillness. That's actually where it dies. What it really needs is turbulence. It needs the crashing waves, that resistance from the ocean. That's what brings it all the oxygen and nutrients it needs to actually live.
And this is the big takeaway. It's so important. If you take away that struggle, that fight against the current, the coral bleaches. It just turns into this pale ghost of what it used to be. So the very thing that looks like a threat, that rough current, is actually what gives it all its life and all its color. Wild, right? And look, this isn't just some nice poetic metaphor. There's actual science behind this. A real, proven biological principle that explains not just what's happening with the coral, but what's happening to us too.
Okay, so this concept is called hormesis. And a great way to think about it is lifting weights. When you stress your muscles, what happens? That stress is the signal for them to grow back stronger. Hormesis is basically that same idea applied to, well, almost everything. A little bit of a stressor, a manageable dose, doesn't actually weaken you. It triggers a response that makes you tougher, more resilient.
But, and here's the huge problem, we have literally engineered all of these necessary stressors right out of our lives. We've built this velvet prison for ourselves. We control the temperature everywhere, so we're never too hot or too cold. We barely have to do any physical effort anymore. And, oh man, we have weaponized convenience and distraction to make sure we are never, ever bored.
And what's the result of living inside this velvet prison? Well, our psychological immune system is just atrophying. It's exactly like a muscle you never use, it gets weak. Our ability to handle even the smallest bits of stress is just withering away because we never get any practice. Now, it's easy to think, oh, this is just a modern problem, but it's not. Not at all. In fact, if you go way back, ancient philosophers were warning us about this exact same thing more than 2,000 years ago.
Yeah, the Stoic philosopher Seneca, he totally got this. For guys like him, a life with no hardship wasn't a gift, it was a curse. Seneca basically said that if you never taste adversity, you can't possibly build the inner strength you're going to need for the challenges that life will inevitably throw at you.
So, let's bring Seneca's idea into today. When your life is just too easy, you lose all perspective. Suddenly, slow Wi-Fi, a little disagreement, getting stuck in traffic. It doesn't just feel like a minor annoyance, it feels like a total catastrophe. And why? Because your whole system isn't calibrated anymore. It can't tell the difference between a real problem and a tiny inconvenience.
Okay, so that's the big question, isn't it? How do we break out of this velvet prison? If our psychological immune system is getting weaker and weaker, what can we actually do to start building it back up?
Well, the answer is definitely not more comfort. It's not more convenience. The real antidote is to choose discomfort, to intentionally and voluntarily bring small, healthy doses of it back into our lives. And the good news is, this stuff can be surprisingly simple. It's all about seeking the wave. You know, taking a cold shower instead of a hot one. Choosing to go on that long, hard hike. Finally having that difficult conversation you know you need to have. Or, and this might be the hardest one for a lot of us, just sitting in silence for a few minutes without grabbing your phone. So as we start to wrap this up, the challenge really shifts, doesn't it?
It goes from just understanding the problem to actually doing something about it. Your next wave, it's out there. It's waiting for you.
I want you to really let this sink in. Chasing after non-stop, absolute comfort, that is not the path to a good life. It is the path to stagnation. It's like a slow bleaching death for your spirit.
So the next time things in your life feel a little too easy, a little too calm, just ask yourself this one question. Am I actually resting right now, or am I just stagnating? Because at the end of the day, just like that coral, our beauty comes from the resistance. Our growth comes from pushing against the current. So don't be afraid of the turbulence. You got to embrace it. It's the only thing that's going to keep your colors bright.